Hey guys, Whitney here and welcome to TEFLPros. On today's call, I sat down with one of our recent grads, Tom. And Tom is probably like a lot of you out there. He had zero teaching experience coming in, but it was something that had been on his list of things that he wanted to do for a very long time. He's currently wrapping up a master's program, and when that is done, he is hitting the road for China. So sit back, relax, and take a look at Tom's experience on the TEFLPros Plus course. Hey, Tom.
Afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. A little tired, but yeah. How you
doing? Doing well. Well, first off, congrats on recently graduating from the course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you worked hard and you completed the course at a good pace, didn't you? You got through it pretty quick.
As much as I could.
Yeah. You're juggling studying full-time as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, thanks again just for hopping on and sharing your perspective on the course with folks. The first question that I always like to ask people, Tom, is like, can you just describe where you were at prior to taking the course? Like, what was your life like? What kind of led you into this whole idea of getting TEFL certified?
Sure. Prior to this course, I'm in my master's program, studying full-time, like you said, and not 100% sure what I wanted to do after school. I came back, or I kept coming back to possibility of teaching, every couple of years. So I figured this was a good opportunity and a good time to do that. Kind of take a break from school by going into more school, now that I say it out loud, and really just kind of see the world.
Okay. So taking a break from school to become an educator.
Exactly.
I love that. And what's your master's in? What have you been studying?
I'm getting a master's in global management and, a concentration in public policy.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive. So you've already got kind of a global, look there within your studies, and now you're supplementing it with a TEFL. That's awesome.
Yep.
And did you have, like, coming into this, Tom, did you have any prior teaching experience? That's a question we get a lot from folks. They're like, I've never taught before. Can I do this?
I have had no teaching experience whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's totally normal. Yeah. It's always great for people to hear that. It's totally normal to come in with zero teaching experience. And so with that being said, coming into this, kind of like dabbling with this idea of like, all right, do I want to be a teacher? Do I want to do something overseas? What were you looking for out of your TEFL training?
Really what I was looking for. So I came into this with a kind of mindset of, this is a massive undertaking. I always kind of saw teachers and educators as the masters of their fields. So I've had no prior experience. I am by no means a master. And so I kind of came into this with a mindset of, I'm hoping that this will, kind of educate me on how to educate, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. Kind of hoping that it will prepare me for the next steps in this process.
And so coming into it without a background in teaching, what were some aspects to being a teacher that you felt like, oh, I really need to learn about this, or I hope they cover that? Or, was there any specifics or any like specific things that you were scared of doing, or?
I'm sure this is a pretty common answer, but lesson planning.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you lesson plan for the day? And then throughout the semester, especially, how do you get from point A to point Z? and then just keep doing that every single day.
Yeah.
I feel though like you guys gave a pretty comprehensive teaching experience on just lesson planning in general.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, that is a common concern. And I know that being a teacher is something that you place a lot of value on. I mean, just in these first couple minutes, you've already said multiple things that really go to show that you value being an educator, and not just like getting a piece of paper that's like, oh, I'm certified. You want to know the skills that you need to have to really make an impact on your students. And that's awesome that you have that mindset going in and that you were really looking to hone in on those skills. So then once you were on the program, Tom, what was your experience like? Was there anything that stood out to you that you'd like to share?
Please excuse me. Yeah, I found overall the experience was just, yeah, I know it was self-paced, but when I say that it's well-paced, it's kind of spread out well within the modules, and the chunks, I guess, chunking like you guys talk about, that you have decided to lump them together are very comprehensive in the way, and very, I guess, very easy to understand why you've put them in that order and why they're together that way.
Okay, great. So you found that the course had a logical flow to it.
Very much so.
Okay, that's great for us to hear on our end. We try to keep things very logical as you're going through it. Did it make you feel like the skills you were learning earlier on were then you were like building upon those as you were moving forward?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, the one thing too that I kind of appreciated once I got into the course, I took the what's called the kind of preview course, where
the
you
free
learn
trial.
about the trial, where you learn about first day lesson planning, and that's module 5. And I was going into it kind of thinking, wouldn't it make more sense to have the first day lesson planning as your first lesson? But kind of like you were saying, kind of building off of each other, and finding that I needed that base of how to lesson plan in the first place was useful. So you knew better than I did, even though I thought I knew better.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's like first day lesson planning and last day lesson planning, you start to realize over time, like, oh, they're kind of unique. They're like their own little package that only happens once during a term. So yeah, that's great. Did you enjoy anything else on the course? Like, was there anything else that was particularly useful or helpful for you? Like a particular type of video or activity or anything else that you'd like to share?
Just kind of the fact that you guys give the in-class observation videos was very helpful to me. Because I was going into this a little worried about the fact that since this is an online course, I won't be able to go in and observe teachers in person, but those videos were very, very, a very good supplement, I should say.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, it's tough. Like as a new teacher, even just reading like an activity book or something. If you just went to the store and picked up the teacher manual, teacher book, it's almost like gibberish because it's so hard to visualize what it actually looks like in the class. So I'm glad that that was helpful for you as well, Tom. And then, the last thing that I always like to ask is, do you have any advice for people out there who are just like, I don't know, like I'm excited by the idea of getting TEFL certified and getting out into the world and teaching, but I'm also terrified of it. There's that push and pull that often go together when you're making a big transition like this. So any advice for folks out there listening?
Well, just to let everybody know, I was in that exact same spot only a few short months ago. And I have a couple friends actually who have done that before coming here to come back to school. And I'll give you the same advice that they gave me. Go for it. You will have no regrets. They said that, even if you get out there and you dislike where you're at, you within a week you realize it's not what you want to do long term. They had amazing experiences nonetheless, completely unique. And the one piece of advice I will personally give, though, when looking into your which certification you want to go to, just do your research. As with everything else, you want to know what you're getting into, what some of the pros and cons might be. I found very, very little cons with this course. And just, the better informed you are, the better decision you can make, in my opinion.
That's excellent advice, Tom. Yeah, thanks so much for hopping on today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.